When we want to draw a large object, for example a car, we cannot draw it at its actual size. If the objects are too small, for example, an insect or a needle, it is convenient to make the drawing with an enlarged size. Scales are tools that allow us to represent objects in a size proportional to their actual size. With scales, we can reduce or enlarge a representation without losing the proportional relationship between the different elements. Scales are used in different disciplines, such as architecture, design, cartography, and visual arts. The scale is the ratio that exists between the dimensions of a drawing and their corresponding measurements in reality. This relationship can be expressed in the form of a proportion, in the form of a fraction. The first number indicates the unit of measurement in the representation. The second number represents the unit of measurement on the actual object. It is common in architectural plans, models, and maps. Mapping. Maps use scales to represent real distances in a limited space. Scales allow us to calculate the actual distance between 2 points on a map, taking into account the scale relationship. We can also use a linear scale. A linear scale, also called a bar scale bar, graphic scale, or graphical scale, is a means of visually showing the scale of a map, nautical chart, engineering drawing, or architectural drawing. It is based on a line divided into segments that represent different units of measurement. When measuring distance on the graph, you look for the equivalent segment on the scale line to determine the actual measurement. It is used in maps, plans, and visual representations of objects. Full scale. We are dealing with a natural scale when the real size of the object represented coincides with the size of the representation. It's about the 1:1 ratio. The size of the plane we use must be of a suitable size to draw the object in its actual size. Reduction scale. We find this type of scale when the size of the representation on the plane is smaller than the real object. It is used to represent extensive land, house plans, or large objects. Enlarged scale. It is used to represent small objects, or difficult to see with the naked eye. The size of the object is smaller than the size of its representation. For example, 20:1 scale. Every 20 centimeters in the drawing represents 1 centimeter in reality. The numerator is larger than the denominator. Standardized scales. Although any scale value can be used, in practice it is recommended to use certain standardized values on the technical drawings to make the dimensions easier to read. These are some of the normalized scales. In special cases, as in the construction of buildings, intermediate scales, such as the 140 scale or the 125 scale, are used.